Hey everyone, it's Cesar Pagan, host of Beyond the Frequency 369. And this one isn't one of my usual episodes. I recently had the incredible opportunity to be a featured guest on Tiffaney Haney's live show, Rooted Frequency, and it was a great experience. Now, for those of you that are not familiar in the podcast world, but sometimes when you are a guest on someone else's show, they do what's called a swap cast. And that basically means that though they post a show, the original show on their channel, they're also kind enough to share the audio version of the show so I can put it on my channel as well so you guys can hear it too. So that's what this is. It is a swap cast. So if you are expecting a video, you won't be seeing one, but you will be able to see an image that I put together so you guys can just take a look at it as you listen to the podcast. I think it goes without saying, when you get a chance, if you do like what was said in this conversation, give it a like, subscribe it, share it to other people. And also, by all means, please go visit my friend Tiffaney Haney on her channel, Rooted Frequency. She has a wonderful podcast there as well, with a lot of great gems and a lot of inspirational music and conversations. So I think you guys would definitely enjoy it. Now, I ended up joining this conversation a little bit late, so I put it on the video imagery that I joined at about 31 minutes in. So you guys can either go straight to that or just enjoy the entire show from its entirety from the beginning. Either way, thanks a lot for listening. Enjoy the show.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Rooted Frequency, where we ground down into the beautiful light that is you, one frequency at a time. I'm your host, Tiffaney Haney, and we are here doing our Patreon roundtable. And while several people couldn't join us and we miss you, we do have Jason and Kate here. So I'm not sure what we are going to, I'm not sure what we are going to dig into this evening, but I did bring my cards. And also, I do feel like there's a lot to talk about just in the energy of the world right now. And I know Kate and I were kind of talking about that earlier today because she actually came by my shop. But we were talking about just this weirdness. And it's almost like there's no words to describe it completely, except that it's just something you feel. So maybe we start with that. Jason, do you feel that?
Absolutely. Your
Yeah.
post the other day was well, what did you call my comment?
Succinct.
To see? Yeah.
Straight to the
Because
point.
yes, and same with your post. Like I said, everything. I mean, you hit the nail on the head at every single bullet point.
Yeah, it is weird. And for people who are not Patreon subscribers, if this is posted, basically it was like, just, I don't know, people aren't sleeping, people are having insanely vivid dreams. And I almost like want to say prophetic because and I don't consider myself a person who has like super prophetic dreams, but I had an end of the world dream, like totally. And I have a date and I have all this stuff I wrote down and I am not going to like share it at all. But it wasn't really end of the world per se. Like it wasn't like but it was a significant event. Let's just say that. But I'm saving it for me because I feel like a lot of people are having these sort of things. And I also feel like there's no need to be worried. It's like we can feel something coming, but also at the same time, I feel like most people agree that it's like, well, okay, it's coming. I guess we'll just wait. I'll be here. It doesn't feel like scary.
I'm sorry.
Somebody's shining their headlights at you.
Yeah, I'm going to pull my screen over. Sorry.
Kate is in her car.
I have like a sideways cellular line.
You're going to get in trouble. There's going to be a police officer. Ma'am, what are you doing loitering?
I will laugh. I'm sorry. I don't know you that well yet, but I will laugh.
Well, that would be pretty amazing to get on here. We'd have to get their take. We'd be like, officer, do you feel like there's weird stuff going on in the world?
You'll see my feisty side then.
I see
She's
your
not in New
feisty
Jersey,
side all the
is she?
time. No, but I wish Nicole were here. She's New York, right? Isn't she in New York?
I thought she was Central time zone. I don't know.
Yeah, she did say that, but I always thought that she was in New York. She was supposed to be here. Nicole.
She'll be on an hour later.
Okay, but yeah, so prophetic dreams, lucid dreaming, also, just I don't know. I swear, I think we switched timeline, not time zones.
Oh.
We're just talking about time zones. So, but
We knew what you meant.
Well, I wrote in my comment that went to the Netherlands. I feel like it's a crescendo, but not a finale yet. You know, like things are just shifting. Everybody's off a little bit.
Right, and everything's building to some sort of an apex, but it's not the apex, so to speak.
Yeah, it's not the big one, but it's going to be a big change.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but yeah, I think maybe that's why we're all not worried because we're ready for it. It needs to change, right? So,
Right. And at this point, I think if you're here, right? Like if they found you, at this point, you're probably already, for the most part, most people relatively comfortable with, you know what I mean? Accepting things as they are, I guess.
mhm.
Like, I mean, we know we have nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Well, it's cyclical too. Like I feel like I said to Tiffany earlier, like right before like not a hurricane, but like a tsunami or something. Not saying it's going to be a tsunami. You know how like the tide like just retreats and retreats and retreats and everything seemed calm. And then
Right. We're the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird because I was thinking about it and I kind of feel like I don't have the same connection to the universe that I did. Like it's changed. It's almost like the universe is choosing how to connect and I don't have control right now, but it's stronger.
Okay, so stronger connection, but you have
Mhm.
less control over how that transpires.
Yeah, like it's almost like quickly with the pen, that's going to be a lot of editing.
It's that I need to get that out of my game.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yes,
It's cool.
I'm learning. This is
It's one of those things that we like naturally do. I totally get it because I like to I talk with my hands and I'm always like, nah, you know. So I get it.
and I'm a
But-
fidgeter, and yeah.
Totally get it. Find like a less loud fidget thing.
Gotcha.
A palm stone, a crystal palm stone. Anywho, I feel like it was on us to manifest things and it was on us to grow. But it's almost like the universe is kind of like enough's enough. And it's taken some of our control and power away. Because what I'm seeing really big is that my friends who were like only at the beginning stages of waking up, they're getting pushed hard. And I know like we thought this or like back last year. Like I've been saying it for a while that like the next big awakening's coming, but I'm seeing it. I have friends that they've like they were starting to wake up. They were making changes in their lives, but then they're texting me and saying, you're the only person I can tell this to, but I saw spirits in my room last night. Or like, but you know, it's like a huge leap. It's not even like baby steps, but they are just opening up. And they even describe it like that, like something's opening within me. So I kind of feel like almost like the universe has placed me on the back burner. Like, you know, it's like, okay, hold on. Because I do feel like I'm in this kind of like holding pattern. Like, yes, I can still meditate and feel my connection. But I don't know. I feel like it's like, hey, hold on. Because we have all these people that we're trying to kind of almost save. And if they choose not to wake up, sorry, but like shit's going to hit the fan. And that big wave that Kate's talking about is going to come and take you out, you know? But we're like all out in sea, like just kind of waiting, you know, like in our little floaties, you know?
We got a surfboard, so we don't have to worry about it.
The swimmies?
Yeah. I want a big, like, probably like a flamingo floaty, like a giant, you know? And with my little coconut drink, I'm waiting.
I prefer
That's the only
surfboard.
vacation I get. That's as close as I get to a vacation, Kate.
You know?
Is in my mind.
Well, it's interesting because I tell my son, like when he would do tough stuff, I'm like, you just got to get a surfboard. It's waves, you know? I mean, I think this is way bigger than that, but I don't know. I feel like we all have whatever flotation device we need. So that, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I think the difference is that separation feeling though, because I do think there's people out there that keep contacting me and they're like, I'm surfing, you know? And I'm like, really? Oh, cool. I'm out. I just thought there was no waves today, you know? Because it does feel like that receding, you know? But yet at the same time, I'm like, but I do see that giant tsunami that's coming and going to crash on us really soon.
Well, that's how it feels, right? Right. It feels like they don't see the big wave coming behind them that we're all like, turn around. Like,
Mm. Yeah. I always thought that this is because a lot of people, it's been a trickle of awakening and that these people, the universe was just like, enough's enough. You're woke. And then, the other people are just sorry, but you don't get it.
You know, like, you know how like with kids, you can grow those crystals in a jar or a glass?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like if there's a visual feeling for me, like it's just rapidly growing now. Like they're creating new ones and rapidly.
Yeah. And it does seem very significant, everything that's ahead with even just the planetary alignment on January 25th. So it's like the universe it does feel kind of like all these pieces are coming together for something. And then it's like go time, you know?
like the world's most complicated jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
All kinds of crazy shaped pieces.
Well, I mean, who the hell knows like what? I mean, I do think yes, the burst of energy, and I almost think it's going to be like so significant where any thought you have is going to just manifest. Like people are going to be like, "Holy shit, like I am so powerful." And that's going to be really bad for a lot of people.
It's going to be bad in the community, even people who are more so educated, I guess I'll say, to manifestation, because you're not used to none of us are used to that, right? And I've been hearing that for a long time, right? At least a decade. That it's going to get to a point that manifestation keeps speeding up. The downtime between your desire and it becoming actualized keeps getting reduced but that it's going to eventually real soon, I guess, get to the point of instant.
Paul's here.
I'm here.
Hi.
Hi. I gotta put my light on.
You got some loud background
I'm in the
noise,
dark.
my
Where
darling.
Are you?
Guess I got open.
Nicole, you know how to make an entrance.
I know.
Okay. With all four, we're definitely going to have to individually mute at times, okay? And then like when we want to talk. But I'm glad you're here. We were just talking about like the energy shift right now. And Jason was making a good point. I do think kind of all feel like there's like a tsunami wave coming behind us right now, but we're all kind of in a holding pattern, and some people are getting this like quick course of waking up right now, and other people are kind of waiting for this big wave. And what Jason was saying was like that a lot of people aren't used to like quick manifestation, and I do think people have had glimmers of it, and there are people like Kate is one of them who has manifested some big stuff off and on without trying. But Jason's right in the fact that like that's happened on and off in your life, you know, but this is going to be like where everything just, you're like, man, I could really go for a hot dog right now. A hot dog appears, you know, like it's like, I think it's going to be, and that's kind of a ridiculous example, but I like my ridiculous examples. So, but I do think it's going to be kind of like that, because it's one thing to like try to manifest that job you want, and then you get the job, and it's like how quickly we forget that we were trying to manifest that and the universe delivered. You know, it just kind of, so yay, I got the job. But like, I think this is going to be undeniable. Like you can manifest actual things. That's my inkling anyway. Thoughts?
Well, if that's the truth, I'm excited about that. I'm ready for it.
Well, what have you been feeling? Because we were just talking about what we were all feeling. How are you feeling right now?
Since our last conversation, I have manifested lots of things. And it was at some point, it's like too much. And I'm now like, I was confused, you know, but I have been studying and researching more about, you know, human design, and like going deeper into that, and just reading, you know, articles, and just understanding that I have to, you know, we have to stay, you know, vibrating positively to, you know, for these things to come. So I've been like, with that happening, like you said, there's a shift in like things possibly manifesting faster. I feel like gaining and learning more knowledge about my higher self. I feel faster that I have been in the you know, like since I've been on this path. So,
Good. So you feel like more connected to your highest self too.
yes.
I know you had made a comment on Patreon about like, because last time the talk, it was you, me, and Kate, and you said you made some like, so what changes have you made?
No, well, after we spoke, I spoke with my projector friend, and I was explaining, like you said, for her to be authentic, in you know, her post on the internet and social media, her marketing. So she started doing that, and I tell you, just everything, like she has a cleaning business. She had so many clients, like we were like, oh my gosh, we don't know what to do with it. You know, it went from 0 to like, we're booked for the month of January. So that was really exciting. And then I was
exciting. Good for her.
I know. Yes, I'm so happy for her. And I was helping her because I wasn't working. We had off from school for 2 weeks. So I'm going to continue to help her and, sub so I can have my feet in both arenas.
And that's amazing too, because like you see the importance of like community too, because you're assisting in that, for her and being that support for her.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes. I wonder, had I not mentioned that to her, would, how long would it have taken for this to actually, jump off? So but I'd rather not know that and her be successful. So I'm excited about that. I was also headhunted for positions, so it was exciting. There was like things after we spoke that day started, flowing in. But I'm also excited because we had time off because of the snow. We had an extra week off this week. So I felt the energy to just like seek knowledge of how I can improve myself and, live what my life is supposed to be met, my blueprint. So I feel like that's been so helpful. I feel like the snow definitely had something had something to do with the snow here by my house.
I think there is something to all this weather, man. There does feel like there's something more to it than just snow. So
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like you're surfing right now. When I said the different people, she's surfing.
I'm
That's
surfing.
exciting.
I'm catching
So
the
don't
waves.
focus.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the wave that we're talking about. Just stay surfing.
You'll be on top of the wave.
You might be surfing the wave. Some of us will be surfing the wave. I don't know. It'll probably crash.
We'll
on
all
top
be
of me.
expert surfers till we're done, right?
I don't know.
Well,
I probably have to have some sort of drowning experience just to talk to you all about it. I don't know. That's what it feels like lately for me. Like the universe is like, here's another test. Boom. But that's okay. I'm glad if those things can help. I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
No, it really helped. Like I said, one line, like one sentence, you speak to somebody can like change, can alter. So it's really cool.
You're right. It's like
so
that.
I didn't get to say hi to Kate. And did you guys record before? Oh.
Yeah, we started recording.
Okay.
And this is Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hi.
On top of that, did you guys all have any thoughts around starseed stuff that I posted this week?
I had never really heard of that before I met you. So being fascinated with, astronomy and physics and all of that, I'm very interested to hear more about it.
Especially as you're a person who you've said like stares at the stars. And that's a big indicator of like longing to go home. Yeah.
Explains most of my childhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I
know.
agree, Jason.
Well, good. And also it's just, like starseeds are very sensitive. So it kind of makes sense. Like a lot of our experiences, I suppose. But yeah, I have my cards too today. So we can also do messages or questions. I think last time we just did a message for the collective.
Yeah.
But you guys can ask questions too. Do you like my background?
I love your background.
I made it today.
So cool.
It's a podcast studio with frequency.
That's very cool. Typically, I would have commented on it prior to us recording, but I missed that part. So
That's okay, because when this is posted to Patreon, people can see.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So do it. Do it now.
Well, I will
Um,
say, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to pull cards, but go first.
No, you go for it. All right, fine. I will say that although I've been having all of these wonderful things happen around me, like manifesting, I still feel that I would like my path for me to be revealed. For something that I can want to do consistently that really lights me up, you know? So that can be a question, like my next path.
I feel like we covered your first steps in our last discussion. Did we?
Yes,
update?
I agree.
So like,
So I'm still there.
What are you doing to take those steps, young lady?
I know.
It's so funny because you're not alone. Like, I feel like all of us do this. It's like,
I'm helping others and not myself. Okay.
yeah,
When
I know.
you know and you don't do it anyway.
Yeah.
You could be a consultant,
Yes.
right? That's what, yeah.
Yes. No, I agree. No, but like I said, what I've been like working on and studying even more has led me to I'm just waiting for it. Like that's my design. I have to wait, so, and trust.
Yeah. But I thought you were going to start the YouTube channel.
I know. Okay. So this is my official this is my official push. I'm going to do it.
I was going to say this is your official kick in the ass, but yeah, your official push.
There, my official kick of the ass. No, because guess what? My son has a delay tomorrow. I don't have school because nobody's taking off. So I'm going to take my Chromebook.
Well, shit. Start your YouTube channel, man.
And just start it, man. And I'm going to meet some college kids that can help me because I live right by
No, it's so easy. It's so easy. It does not need to be fancy. If you have something that speaks to people, like, you can get fancy later, but just start, because to begin with, nobody's going to listen. Like, I mean, that's just the reality of like when I started a podcast. Like, I mean, I'm still like after this long trying to build my, and now I'm getting like a YouTube following finally. But like that took a long time. So what you put out, and now like I at some point hope to find the time to go back and like redo my early episodes because they sound terrible. But who cares? I think that's everyone's journey. Like, so many podcasts I've listened to, you go listen to the early, and it's like because they're learning. And nobody cares because they already love you by that time. And it's like just a part of being, your journey. It's fine. So do your thing. And as you go, you'll learn, and learn what works, learn what feels right, and go from there, because I think you have a good idea.
Okay. No, I agree. I was thinking when I was outside earlier, I was like, even like to blog about it, like why not, so, but I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm doing it.
Exactly. Because that's the trap we fall into, because then, it's like you say, okay, just do that YouTube. I have talked to so many people like this, and then they're like, well, yeah, I'm gonna, but also, I'm going to start the website, and also I'm going to start my blog.
But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all that happens. It's just pausing. And the worst that happens is you just do it. And because also you don't get any like mean comments, by the way, on all these things unless you make it. Like, I don't really get mean comments yet. So I always, like, when I talk to other podcasters and like, oh my gosh, the things people say, I'm like, that means you've made it. And people are listening once you get those mean comments. So like, don't worry. Like, really, it's not that many people watching, I mean, who knows? You could go big your first day and all,
Well, here's some encouragement too. 20 years ago, when blogging was like blogging, not just, tweeting, is how opportunities arose for me to live in France and New Zealand that came out of nowhere that I didn't ask. You just never know what can happen.
It's true. I always say that. You don't ever know.
See?
You could post something, and even like somebody else might be like, wanting to do that too. That's like some company that has a bunch of money. And they're like, oh man, this woman has like the name of what we want to do. Let's buy her out. Like, I mean, that could be something too. Like they give you this big chunk of money and you're like, okay, now I'm going to like shift and do something really good with all of this, like for my next direction. Like you just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That could be just as lucrative.
That's why I'm here.
Just do like a general, like what the universe, basically we'll ask the universe to explain yourself. Explain yourself, sir. What is happening? No. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So it looks like the universe is adjusting. From what I can, oh no. Oh yeah. Okay. It has to be in front of my face. Because it disappeared into the green screen. I imagine. We've lost touch. Like, so this is obviously a message for the collective as a whole. It seems like there's a bit of illusion going on. At the core, people have kind of lost their way a bit. And this is the universe kind of changing course. Everyone is, so when we say collective, by the way, it's whoever finds this. So yes, collective, a lot of times people will say is like the spiritual community. But even if like somebody isn't spiritual and finds that, that too. So I think as a whole, oh, universe, you're so silly. It's saying change is ahead, upheaval, kind of like my tower card. So big change is on the horizon. But I'm getting that it's like, so it's on our path to enlightenment. So for the better. And it's to feed our souls. Like, so to summarize these. Yes, people have woke up. Yes, people have realized a lot of things. However, the universe is looking at everything as a whole, like the humankind that gets to help rise. So the collective, think of like everybody who gets to come before the others are kind of wiped out, which is going to be happening this year. But everyone will get to rise. So as a whole, it's kind of like, oh, Cesar.
Hey, guys.
Today is the day of interruption. Cesar,
Is
you're not the
it?
first interrupter. Hold on. Pause. I'm going to introduce this lovely man in a moment. I'm talking about our message from my cards real quick for the collective. But I'm glad you're here. Just hold on. Okay. So as a collective, little bit of like lost kind of the point, I think, of like everyone's kind of gone to a place of working on themselves individually and wanting like to change things. But it's like, I think the universe is saying, hey, we need to shift our focus a little bit to enlightenment. So we're going to force all this change upon you. And then as a like human race, we want more for you. Because right now, like we've all been kind of like working individually on ourselves. And the universe looks at everything from a 5D perspective and wants us to be more. And I think that, oh yeah, my highest self just said that's the reason like this call for community that so many of us feel, because it's true. Like we need to come together now in order to rise as a collective. Well, we just got joined by my dear friend Cesar, who I did invite this evening. He is the host of Beyond the Frequency podcast. You may have heard our swap cast that we did. And he's a lovely, lovely human. And we both were talking about like doing more lives and stuff. And, I'm a mess of a human being. So I am all over the place. So I like last minute just sent him a link and said, if you can come, pop on. And he did. So welcome, Cesar.
I did, Tiffany. Thank you so much for the invite. I saw it about 30 minutes late. At least 30 minutes late after you started your live. I was actually at the movies watching Wicked.
Oh, did you like it?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. My wife been wanting to see it for a while, and I'm like, all right, keep the wife happy and stuff. I loved it. I mean, I think I probably teared up twice.
Oh, that's so sweet. You know who blows me away? I recently went down like a YouTube short rabbit hole with Ariana Grande. She is insanely talented. Like, have you guys looked at all of her impressions that she does, like on a SNL and stuff?
Yeah,
Like, she can sound exactly like Whitney Houston. And like, okay, Jason, go down that rabbit hole. Like, even because it's not like I'm some big Ariana Grande fan. I like a couple of her songs, like whatever. But yeah, she's crazy talented, nuts.
yeah,
But yeah, I do want to see that movie.
yeah. It's good. It's good. What I did not expect was 3 hours.
Oh yeah, no, I heard it's super long. I thought it was like 2.5. Is it
I
3?
thought it was just a 90-minute show, and
No.
nope.
Mm-mm.
But it was.
That's why I know so many parents who their like little girls wanted to go see it, and they're like, "We're gonna wait till it comes out. Like we watch it at home because I'm not sitting in a theater with my 6-year-old for 2.5 hours."
Absolutely. Hey, Tiffany, I got to give you your flowers. I've been, after we've introduced each other and everything, I've been following you. You've been killing it. You've been doing so good. I mean, I see and what I mean by that is all the gems that you're dropping, your shorts, your podcast in general. I've caught some interviews with you and other people, and it feels like sometimes you go on the show and you're not really sure what you're going to say, but whatever comes out of you is just great. Like it's a great show. So I'm just like, bravo to you. And it's all coming from the heart. So I can tell.
You want to know a secret? I never, ever, ever know what's going to come out of my mouth.
Right.
Or what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I just trust the universe and my highest self to let in.
So who are these lovely people, by the way? I mean, hey, Nikki.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Same. So I guess, I mean, just in brief, like where's the connection between you and Tiffany? How did that start about?
I heard she was a guest on another podcast that I was listening to, a conspiracy podcast. So after hearing her on there, it was, I didn't hear, I guess I didn't listen to her for like 6 months. And then after that, I found her podcast. I didn't know she had a podcast. I just thought she had a crystal shop. So then, I was like looking up the shop because I wanted to reach out to her somehow. And then that's how I found her. So I found that she had a podcast, and ever since I've been listening to her. And as you said, I've listened to other podcasts, and Tiffany, I have to give you accolades as well. Like anytime I listen to a podcast that you have, it's flawless. It's absolutely amazing. And even the hiccups are part of it being flawless. So it really has touched me,
way too nice,
my higher self. And I'm so happy to have met her.
Thank you. Yeah, these are my Patreon peeps, Cesar. I mean, some of them couldn't make it, but these are my ride or dies, my surfer peeps.
Your ride or die.
Yeah.
Cool. And so, Kate, how are you? And what's your story?
Well, I live right down the road from her shop. So I'm lucky that I get to go there in person whenever she's open.
She came and had tea with me today.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I had a
nice.
Like spiritual community open thing, and I set up a little table with tea, and then my little tea set out, and the little teapot, and Kate was the only one who came. So
I also didn't know she was doing it. I just showed up. How things work in my life.
No, stop. She comes in and she hands me 2 tea bags, and I go, "Oh, you came to my tea thing?" And she's like, "What tea thing?" It was so freaking
wild.
That's my life all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't believe in coincidence. I'm
just used to it.
Yeah, yeah. And then who is
Smart man.
intuitive healer? So what's your story, buddy?
My name's Jason. Kind of the same as the other lady there. Oh yeah, right. I'm not muted anymore. See how I was doing that right though when I was muted. Swap it back out for the crystal. Yeah, I think I heard Tiff on Meta Mysteries first, and I'm like, well, she got to be on something that was just, again, like it resonated, right? It resonated a lot. I'm like, well, I can't be the only podcast she's on. And then I think I found you on Awaken with Brad after that. And then eventually, it was like right as you were starting to put your episodes out. Listen on Spotify for a while. Then you mentioned the YouTube channel. I think you had like 300 maybe subscribers when I found you on YouTube. Now you're pushing 4K in like a month, 2 months.
Yeah.
Wow, Tiffany. I didn't know that part. Congrats. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, she's killing it.
And,
She's killing it.
yeah. It's exciting. Lately, I have been, my manifestation right now that I'm doing is just to have my voice reach people. Because also I've kind of just had it with my shop and I kind of want to throw in the towel.
Really interesting.
Too hard. Well, I'll just word everything at my house and then you can just come see me.
Your shop is so peaceful.
I know.
It's so nice to go there.
And I had this conversation already, like I had a mentoring appointment this morning and I was like, I feel like so many people just aren't real and I can't stand it, and I'm so often I'll say to people, like, I'm like, and I'm struggling and they're like, really? You? Like, don't you have like all your shit together? Like you're spiritual and you have and I'm like, no, I'm a mess. Like, but like, because I'm a mess and I share that, it doesn't mean that I can't still see how to fix things in other people. I'm just a mess, and like, but I want people to understand that, like, so often on like social media, all the people we follow, like, we need to share that a little bit more because otherwise, it's just like unnecessary pressure on ourselves that when we're not feeling okay, So, I mean, I like this week has just been really hard.
Well, it reminds me of how you said, like, it's easy to be calm and peaceful and tranquil if you're sitting on a mountaintop. But we all have to live in a world down here.
Yeah.
So I think it makes it more relatable when you share that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I like try to explain to everybody is like, it's okay to lose your mind for a day. It's okay to have anxiety that's spiraling out of control. It's just the hard part is like if we don't acknowledge it and if we wallow in it and don't put those things in place to get out of it, because we can't just stay there in that space. We have to pull ourselves out of it.
Well, I must say, Tiffany, and that was one of the things I was saying before, like to you, Cesar, and you guys, that's what for the lack of word before, like you, whenever I would describe you to my friends or somebody else, I would say she's real. That's why I love her, because I feel she's real. Like there's no airs. There's not, trying to be somebody you're not or show off or be this perfect perfect person. Like, that's why I appreciate you the most, because you're real.
Yeah. I mean, I also figured, if one day I took off, if people pull out my skeletons, that I'll just be like, yeah, so what? Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
want to pretend to be somebody I'm not.
Yep.
It makes sense. Yeah. Be like, there's nothing to pull out. I've been real guys all this time. Yeah.
Exactly.
And there are people like climb up. They try to hide all these skeletons, I guess. Their real lives, their real experiences, their real expressions. And that's not what you should be portraying. You should be portraying that, hey, I can make you feel good, but I also have days that I feel bad too, and that's okay. you know?
Mhm.
I think people put other people on a pedestal as we're aware, and they're like, oh, they're perfect, you know? And they want you to stay perfect, you know? Like you owe me this perfection. You say you were perfect. I want you to stay perfect. And that's not a real ask, you know?
No, you're right. And then I just think all of that. I mean, I always say like the worst things about people is just secrecy. If we're just honest and transparent with stuff, there's really not that much that can be that bad about you because we all have human moments, you know? So it doesn't mean that like you awaken and all of a sudden you're this elevated being that never has a negative thought or never, looks at somebody and is like, oh, oh, that bitch, or whatever. But like you're going to have those moments. And it's just like, okay, like that was my human moment. And then I'm going to come back to better me, I guess, my higher self version.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even I think we all agree that we're all spiritual beings, right? Even as a spiritual being and knowing we're spiritual beings, we still also are aware that we're still learning. That's the whole reason why we're also having this human experience, because we don't know everything yet. We're still trying to figure it out. Even as an omnipotent being that we truly are, we still don't know what the hell is going on. And that's the beautiful part about it. So, yeah.
That's so true. And it's like the whole, like people being real and not, they shouldn't be on a pedestal because, like Nikki was telling a story earlier, and about like something that she, like Kate and me and Nikki were on a call, our last one. And we were talking about like human design and her friend who had her own business. And she was able to take like that info and be somewhat of a like spiritual advisor to her friend, So it's like everyone teaches everybody. Like we are all teachers, we are all students. So nobody is ever higher, like certain content, sure. Like, I like to soak in certain experts of certain things, and that's fine. But at its core, we all have the same jobs to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Tiffany, I heard you say in a couple of interviews about you also had the same mindset as I do in regards to we're all like a fractal of source, right? We're all like a fraction of it. So the way I look at all of you here on my screen, you're all different versions of me that I can't be, because right now I am existing as Cesar Pagan. I'm existing as frequency 94.1, Tiffany's 94.2, Case 94.3, so on and so forth. So you have to live your life, experience your life, everything that you learn from it, so then I can learn too. Because again, we're all, if the mind says we're all the same being, you have to experience your piece of the puzzle. So when we make the whole, we can see the whole picture.
Yeah.
We talked about illusion earlier, and I remember some years ago back in Boulder, Colorado, I asked somebody who was presenting that everything is perfect now that I've achieved this. And I said, but everything is not perfect. And what are you going to do when your people, they used to come see her. I said, what are you going to do when your people find that out? And she said, well, they're not going to find out. And people always find out. Just be who you are. Just be authentic in the first place.
Yeah, I love that because it is a journey. Like you can be like and feel like everything's perfect for a moment, but no matter what, life throws curveballs, life changes. And also the universe doesn't really want us to get cushy and settle and have everything be perfect. It's going to throw stuff at you. So, which is why, we can never focus on like, well, when I have this job, everything will be fine. When I move to this place, everything will be great. It's just such a toxic way of thinking, and it adds to all of this, really like inner negativity, this inner negative dialogue when we don't feel a certain way or achieve a certain thing. So yeah, like we have to just simply be honest and true to who we are and share the ups, but share the downs too. Like you don't have to get into specifics with people, but you know, like it's what helps. Like I always have said, I don't think that we can heal properly if we haven't been through it. Like we have to be able to connect to other people. So we're going to go through some stuff. And sure, certain people's stuff is more significant than others, maybe like in one sense, but also it's not because depending on what we experience and what we're handed, it's what we can handle. And one person's like horrible, catastrophic life event, someone else might be like, that's nothing compared to what I've been through. But it is to them. So it's like we're all given different life scenarios to still be able to like relate, you know, even if it's, well, I have not been through that exact scenario, but I can kind of relate with this, you know. And that's what it's all about because, and I think it all does go back to kind of like that source, that collective, because we only through connection and community can we all grow, you know, like together and rise. So yes, we were all individually experiencing, but we're also experiencing life together, you know? And I think that's also so prevalent when there's these giant shifts in the energy in the world, like right now, when we can feel that. So it's almost like undeniable that we're connected because we can all, like, you talk to people and it's like everyone everyone's spread apart, different ages, different locations, different jobs. Some people have kids, some people don't. But then it's like, oh yeah, we're all feeling this exact same thing that's happening right now universally, you know, which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And talking about that shift, Tiffany, I've been thinking about that for a little while, for a few months now, that everybody can sense there's a change, either already been happening, or will happen. But then there's some people who don't know what to do with that feeling of change. So they're like, something is changing, but I don't know what to do with it. So what they start doing is they start to change things outside of themselves. They get a new haircut. They buy new jewelry, buy a new outfit. They move to a different place. They try to change their friends, their families. They're changing things outside of themselves, and they're still not satisfied. But what they're not doing is what you guys know is the changes within you. And that's why they're not, they don't find that satisfaction yet. Cause they're like, I'm changing everything. I got a new job. I got a new place. I got new friends, but I'm still, something's not right. So I've been trying to tell folks that when I see someone that seems a little bit chaotic and they're changing a lot in their lives, I stop them for a second. I say, hey, everything good? Like, what's going on? And after they start talking about it, we get to the point where the doors open and I say, look, how about you? Like, how are you doing? Not what's around you, not what's going on in your universe, but what's going on in your into your you inverse, right? What's happening inside you? And then once we have that conversation, everything else that they changed, it was like, man, that was kind of a waste of a time.
Yeah, I think that people don't like to feel out of control. They don't like to feel like something's happening that they can't stop or control the way it's making them feel. And that happens all the time with people who are awakening, you know, when they come into my space and it's like they feel like a fire has been lit inside of them and they don't know why there's this call for change and they don't know exactly what to change. And I'm like, we need to start going inward, which is one of the hardest things because people don't really like to look at every part of themselves and admit the shadow parts of themselves and the things that other people may not like. They just kind of want to move on. And that's part of it because changing your external circumstance is not going to like solve everything. But also, what you made me think was how, so like right now, I feel like there's the call for the change. I don't know. It's like not necessarily like an internal change, but I think people want to make sense of it too. So they try to like put things in place, or like, okay, so I'm feeling like something's like looming or something's changing. And so I'm going to try to make sense of that. And so we keep like asking the questions over and over that we already have the answers to, because it's like we're not in control anymore of like what's happening from a collective standpoint anyway.
Yeah. I think we've been since birth and just our history in general, we've been trained that someone else is going to take care of you. Someone else is coming to save you. It's always someone else's fault. If there's change happening out there, we're waiting for somebody else to tell us what that change is. Everybody's so used to just depending on somebody else to provide these answers. And it's like stop waiting for someone to save you or to tell you what to do next. Like, start talking to yourself. You've always had the answer, you know. In our DNA, we have eons of information programmed inside our DNA, and that's a physical thing. We're not even talking about the knowledge that we have as spiritual beings. So we have the knowledge. We're just never trained. It's not mainstream to train us to talk to ourselves, because that to everybody else is crazy, right? But that's the most natural thing. But mainstream's like, nah, don't do that. That's evil.
Well, thank you for validating that, Cesar, because I recently even had, somebody, and I had somebody say to me, like, you talk yourself way too much. And like, it made me feel like icky inside, but I've done it my whole entire life. And it's just so wonderful now to have people around me that do the same thing and validate this. And I'm really happy to hear it. And I agree with what you guys are saying, because I always thought I was an inward looking person, and not until I started, doing my research and reading and, like understanding what is going on, what has been going on with me my whole life. Like you said, that's not in the mainstream, and we're not conditioned. I mean, we're conditioned to not even think about this, so it's been just so wonderful. And I feel so much more at peace than I've had my entire life, to be honest. So
Good for you, Nick. So proud. I'm so proud of that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for what you're doing to help us. I really appreciate that. So
I have a little bit of a different experience. Even as a little kid, like there was no one going to do anything. So I learned from a really young age, and I think I'm glad about this, that if you want it done, you didn't do it. And my grandmother, whose family came from Russia during the war, they were very stoic. And she said, honey, if you don't like an environment, you just change it yourself. So I grew up with that sort of conditioning instead.
Yeah, it's all the same thing. You pretty much you between Kate and, is it Nikki? Is that the right way? Yeah, you guys are doing it the same way. You're handling it yourself, though.
Well, there was nobody to come and save you ever. So if you wanted to get that done, you had to figure out how to do it. So I'm often confused by hoping somebody else will take over.
But I think I grew up that way as well. But I don't think that. I think for like Cesar said, the mainstream.
Yeah,
and I mean, if the mainstream, that wasn't the case, and I like to say, like they all say, to put in like God, right? God is going to save me. Jesus is going to save me. I love God and Jesus, but again, if I put my faith in them to save me, when am I putting my faith in myself? So
it doesn't mean, yeah, you're right. It's definitely me.
I've been having like those conversations too, as well, with people, to look inward.
I also think that everyone's like karma that they're supposed to overcome is a little different because Kate, I feel like maybe you're supposed to relinquish control a little bit.
No, I'm just joking.
I know. I know it makes you uncomfortable, but like maybe you are supposed to lean on people a little bit more, let people in a little bit more. And I actually have seen that change in you since I met you. Like you have let down some walls. So,
Yeah.
You're
still on your own, but that's okay. I don't mind anymore.
Well, the more walls you let down, you might not be alone.
Well, like I canceled that birthday dinner and then I got invitation. So there's a watershed moment.
Yeah, because I think it is like no matter what, like if we go back to what I was saying about people being uncomfortable if they can't control things, that's kind of you. You want to control the outcomes of things because first off, that's how you found success as a child, like to get out of situations or to make situations better and improvement.
People are always asking you to do it for them. And you just do it because you can.
Well, you know my feelings on that.
They have to struggle. Yeah.
People, we need to just let them flail sometimes.
Yeah.
Unless they're a helpless individual. Like when we were talking about, yes, we can help children. Yes, we can help animals because they can't really help themselves. But a grown-ass person, sometimes we need to look at them and be like, dude, help yourself.
Right.
Like, stop it.
Yeah, but like from talking to you, I was like, you know what? Yeah, so-and-so, you can do that on your own now. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be clear. I wasn't also like promoting like people to just go off the grid and just do your own stuff.
That sounds great to me.
Yeah,
that does sound really good, actually.
yeah. I don't mean just straight up just go and disappear and everything. If you want to, by all means, you have the capability. I mean, you can do that. I was just saying like what Nikki was backing me up on was just the whole mainstream mindset is that it's not natural to ask yourself like, hey, how do I solve this problem? Who's going to take care of you better than you, right?
It was an epiphany, I guess, for me. I didn't know most people thought that way. I did not know that.
But I think also another thing off of what you're saying, Cesar, is yes, people will look externally to have like, how can I fix this? Who can fix this or whatever. But also a part of that is blaming other people for their circumstances as well. And so it's just always externally placing things. So depending on what's happening in your life, like going to, well, it's this person's fault. And, if I just address, like find a better friend or a better spouse, like then it's going to fix everything. And again, like you're right. It's just looking external when all of it, I mean, that's what it all comes down to is just internal, like going internal.
Yeah. One thing I'm 42 now, and I learned probably in the last 10 years how important it is to choose to surround yourself with the people that are like-minded and that support you. And I don't mean support you in just one thing, in all the aspects that that you need to feed your soul. So I have people in my life that support me emotionally, spiritually. And when I say spiritually, I don't mean like religious. Okay. I think religion and being religious and being spiritual to me are two different things. Okay. Being spiritual to me means I have a direct connection to source. Being part of a religion, nothing against it, but being part of religion, in my opinion, is the middle. Like you got to go to that person, follow all these rules, do all this stuff to then be close to that thing. It's like, yeah, go by. Right. So, but anyway, so I have people that support me, in my physical well-being, mentally, even if I just need to go out there and just say a couple of fuck this and fuck that, moments and everything, and just people I can just shoot the shit with and stuff. All those things. I have a person that I can call out by name that will support me in those situations. And I'm good. I'm good. So I encourage people to choose to do that, because sometimes you may have that fifth wheel that's like, why are we even hanging with this person? You know?
Yes. I had no idea my cat has been in here with me this whole time.
Your pet's been in there?
My cat. I thought that I was like, oh my gosh, I swear, I almost feel like an energetic cat just brushed against my foot. And then I heard like pick, like against the door. And I was like, oh my God, Leo's in here.
Oh, maybe that was the noise that you were hearing. I don't know.
I don't know.
Is that the one that licked the bowl that during one of your posts?
No, that's Simon, my little chub.
Oh.
But yes, I see you. Okay. Chat. Go ahead. Damn, like I had a comment off of that too, and now I don't know, cats.
But yeah, in that case,
when you clear out, like I call it static, when you clear out people who are really supportive.
Yes.
I've often said to some of my friends, like, if you clear that out, you have room for what you want or what you need.
Exactly.
It's like decluttering only in that way.
Yeah. And I recently we had this conversation with my community here. We felt that one of our friends she was taking more than it being a give and take. So we just had this conversation, and she was getting upset, and we're like, listen, and this is the thing I think is so important for people to realize. Like, we love you and we want to communicate with you, so just because you're hearing things that may be negative and that you don't think, like that hurts you, like we're coming at you with love, and we're just communicating how we feel, so then we can maybe see where there's the disconnect, and I think that's the struggle for a lot of people, in like relationships, is like communication. A lot of people just want to, either get mad or be defensive, so accountability has been a huge thing for me and my friends and my community, like holding ourselves accountable. So yeah, I think it's really important.
We have to communicate our needs, but also be honest, so that accountability for who we are and our own reason for us being in that situation. Like, and so your friend, like you said, taking on like too much. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Like, taking on too many things.
Well, she was like giving, like we feel, she wasn't there for us as much as we were there for her. So it's like just a simple example, like asking us to watch her animals all the time for her, but then, when we're hanging out outside, yes, it's cold out, but she's like, oh, I'm tired, I gotta go. Or, so it was like we were feeling a little neglected, and she wasn't being part of the community. But then at the same time, she was like really easily like willing to just ask us to help her, like, oh, can you do this or that? For asking us to be there for her. Or we're like, we don't even see you, so like it was, it was hard to have that conversation, but we had the conversation, and then we found out like things she was feeling and that we were feeling, and we were able to unpack it all. And now everything's great, So I think it's really important. And I think that's a part in friendships that I've lacked a lot in my lifetime. And I'm so happy to have found that now.
I was talking to Kate about this earlier, about takers and givers. And I do think that naturally there's people who are just like givers, and there's a really big downside to that. Like Kate and I both relate and I'm sure probably all of you too, because it's a lot of people who are in this kind of community that we just give and give and give and give. And so like, I know I've talked about it on the podcast, but that I had an epiphany that I'm not doing it anymore unless I'm having an even exchange of energy. I am not giving and giving and giving until I'm completely depleted, because what happens is I end up bitter. And that's kind of like what happened with your friend, like, So you guys were just giving and giving. And at some point it like bubbles up and you're just bitter and it destroys relationships. And it also just isn't good for us internally either. So it's like both parties need to kind of have that talk with themselves. So like I have to realize, you know, and Kate even said, like, she was like, sometimes, you know, I do give more, but I have to also like have a talk with myself where I'm like, and I'm okay with that in this scenario. This time I'm the giver. Like, you know, maybe it's someone who's not a friend or, you know, that you're just giving more. There's not that reciprocation and you walk away, but you have to kind of acknowledge that with yourself. But they're like now with my family, with even just at the shop, you know, it's like, it was such little things that I noticed with myself, like people just coming in and I'd, you know, well, I'm just giving you a free, sage bundle. I'm giving you a free Palo Santo. I'm giving you 10% off. Like I have this compulsive need to like give. And people kind of didn't care, right? Like sometimes they would, but they'd leave and I'm like, yay. And then all of a sudden I'm like, why do I feel so depleted? And it started just building and building. And I realized every single time, and it was so small, I was giving away a tiny bit of energy. And there would be so many times when I would do it and I would say to them, like, leave me a review and we're even, you know, like, and that's how but I think I had one in like 100 people leave the review. People just don't really, they're not very accountable. You know, I'm sure they had every intention to leave it, but they didn't. So, you know, then I noticed that. And I think it was just energetically, you start, it builds. So like people need to also be aware of the fact that they're takers because it is, you know, it's funny because now I'm kind of realizing I think takers are unawakened people. I've never met an awakened person who's a taker. So takers, like if they don't own up to their stuff, at some point it's like, got to cut them out.
Yeah. And that's what we had that
Yep.
conversation. Yeah. That's what we were
the
basically
purpose of it.
saying. Like, yeah, you know, but we want to have a conversation with you because we love you. We're not trying to just cut you off, you know, but
Mhm.
sometimes, like you just said, takers, like they don't even know. And that's what I said to her. I'm like, I know that you're not doing this purposefully. She didn't even like really know. So it is on our responsibility, I feel, as well to enlighten them, you know, and to at least give them the opportunity to recognize it, you know.
Yeah, like you guys can hold the space for them to grow. You've given them the feedback. If she continues though, and like I'm kind of to a point where I've realized there's no more room for people just saying, "Oh, that's just how they are." You know, no, there's no excuse for it. And I've said this before, you're failing at life. You've been given opportunity to grow. You can't just come onto this planet and be like, well, I'm a taker and this is who I am and I'm not going to grow and I'm not going to listen to you. Like you failed. Sorry, but you're going to have a redo. And it's not up to me to chase you trying to wake you up. You know, that's not, you can lead a horse to water, you know.
Well, it doesn't help them either. If we naturally do something with zero expectation, right? Just because you're doing it and you know how. I have to stop myself and say, but wait a minute. It's so uneven on a consistent level with this or that person, not once in a while. It doesn't help them to continue to help them out. Right? If you say no, maybe you might feel mean in the moment, but if you say no, you're actually teaching them, hey, this is actually not okay. It's not helping them either.
And not only are you teaching them, but you are also crippling their growth. So really, we're not even doing our duty to help people wake up and help people rise if we continue to do that. We're just stunting them anyway. You know, sometimes the walking away and being like, dude, I gave you all of the opportunity. I made the space. I'm here if you need me. Bye. That's like what they need to, you know, wake up.
Yeah. And what happens when, so you're giving a lot. What happens when you have nothing else left to give? You now become useless to those people that are taken from you. So now, you know, when when you're held up high, when you have all this energy, when you're rich, when you're in a position higher than everyone else, people for some reason have this innate sense of taking. Like, I want this, help me this, help me with that. This goes back to the whole, like, with what I said earlier about religion and stuff. Everybody's always like, help me, I need this and blah blah. But like, well, what are you doing? What are you doing for yourself? You know, I don't know the Bible, like, probably you guys probably know more than me, but I know somewhere in there, Jesus must have told people that, like, I can't do everything for you, but I'm teaching you. I'm telling you that you guys can do this too. This is why I'm teaching and whatnot and everything stuff. So the whole point is that some people just, like, they want to take the easy way out and just say, like, yeah, can you do that for me? Because and it's weird, but don't forget, the power of saying no is a beautiful thing. I say no a lot, and it shuts down there. And I don't say it like aggressively. I just said, no, I'm good. And that's it. Like, there's no other step after that. There's no other option. There's no, well, once I said no, that was it. And we're still cool, but you have to establish that at some point. If you don't establish that, then all of a sudden at random, you do say no, then it becomes a surprise to those people because they're like, wait a minute, I wasn't expecting this. So if you, as a giver, fail to establish your own boundaries, in a sense, you're kind of failing yourself and those people too. Just an opinion.
I agree.
Jason, you're
no, you've been so quiet.
You're
I was going to call you out too.
You're there.
Yeah. So Jason, why don't you? Yeah, Jason, say something. Jason, are you frozen, or are you think? I think he's frozen, or he may be deep in thought.
Oh wait, Kate's frozen too.
No,
Kate's
I'm
moving.
You're not. Okay.
I'm just trying to see what's happening. I can barely see anybody. Okay.
But maybe he left and it froze.
There you go. We have an essence of Jason still with us, guys.
Yes.
Oh, see, he did.
Yeah.
He signed him off.
Told me that he had to do that.
But it's always an evolution, isn't it? Just when you think like you've got a certain facet of it down pat, now like a whole curveball comes. It's like you constantly have to. Like, I used the word with Tiffany, and when I wrote her something, I said you have to recalibrate. Like, you can't just like say, okay, that's good. You have to consistently, I don't know, give it attention. That's not the right way to say it, but
we have to constantly, like, we're meant to do that though. Like, I also think part of it too is the universe, like, bringing people into your life to teach you different lessons and at different times, and then also accepting that they leave too. And having it be like this flow of exactly what you need when you need it, without judgment. So yes, like, just acknowledging what we need, leaving the space, opening the space, having it available for others, but understanding when it's okay to say no. I'm going to wrap this up.
Was it your cat meowing before?
Probably. They're little, I don't know. It's funny. We recorded, my cat was sitting in the chair, like, with the microphone, like he was ready to go.
Thank you.
But thank you guys. Thank you for joining me.
Nice to meet you.
Same, guys. It's a pleasure, and I'm humbled to meet you too as well. And Tiffany, again, short notice or even advanced notice, I appreciate the invite. I always welcome having these conversations, because I take it as I'm gonna always, anytime I have a conversation, I take something away from it.
Yeah.
So I take something away from this, however long that I was on with you guys, is what I needed. I didn't need this yesterday. I don't need this tomorrow, but I needed it right now. So I appreciate this conversation. I appreciate putting eyes on you guys and meeting you and hearing your voices. And I sit in gratitude for all of this. So thank you, all three of you.
You have such a beautiful way with words. He always I don't know. You do. You're like a little poet.
Appreciate that. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up.
Now you have 2 new followers, right, Kate? Cesar has 2 new followers now.
Yeah.
I'll link Cesar's podcast in the show notes. Shout you out.
I like when you put the music in the beginning and the end too.
The last thing I want to tell you, Tiffany, is that whatever decision that you're going to make with your crystal shop, it's going to be the right one. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
it's all good. It's all good, Kate.
Yeah.
don't cry for her, Argentina.
Well, it better work out until I make it out there. As soon as the snow clears, as soon as the spring comes, I'm driving. I'm only 3 hours away, so I can make it out there.
It's a day trip, girls.
That's it.
You too,
I'm coming. I am coming.
Come when the weather's nicer and we can go out and do something. We can go do an outdoor sound bath or something.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Or a hike. Ooh, and collect stuff. And a crystal grid outside.
Yes.
That's funny. Hey guys, I'm out again. Thank you, and really invite me anytime. All right, my pleasure.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Cesar. It was a pleasure.
Bye.
Same.
Isn't he so nice?
Nikki. Oh my gosh, he's amazing.
I know.
Amazing. I love his voice.
Cesar?
Definitely.
I know. Yeah. He has a really nice voice. Yeah, he's good.
You guys, you sound well together. You guys vibe really well off each other.
Yeah, we want to do more stuff together.
Well, I definitely see both of you being successful. I feel that both of you are going to be successful. You just have it. That's all I can say.
Well, I like your background tonight. I want it to always be some kind of galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
maybe I'll switch it up every time. I'm insane. All right.
All right, girls.
All right.
I'm gonna let you go. We will chat later.
All right. Good night.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks.